Greetings, lovely people of the internet, and welcome to the channel once again. Today, we are coming to talk about an interesting topic, which is something that has been a friction in the media space of late. That is the difference between motivation and then also discipline. So, today, I'll be having this conversation with
Joshua. Yeah,
okay.
that's all.
So, yeah, Joshua is a regular guy here. I think by now most of the viewers know him already.
Yeah.
So, Joshua, uh, what is the difference between discipline and motivation to you personally, in your own view?
Yeah. So basically, I think to me personally, discipline is a habit, but motivation is just, a one-time feeling.
Okay.
So discipline is a habit, but motivation is a feeling. Yeah. To me,
Okay.
that's how I'll just attribute it. Yeah.
Okay. So between these two, right?
Yeah.
Which of them do you mostly rely on to, get your test done?
Yeah. Both are very, very important. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to get done, both are very, very important. You need to be disciplined, and you also need motivation in order to get things done properly. But I would say that the most consistent one is discipline. Yeah,
Okay. So you rely more on discipline.
yeah, exactly.
All right. So, do you think people often confuse motivation with discipline?
Yeah, I can see yes because people can sometimes confuse discipline with motivation because just like I said, motivation is just a one-time feeling. Let's say you just listen to somebody speaking, or you have an idea about something, you have a bright idea about something. At that point, you just get motivated.
Mm-hmm.
That is motivation. But discipline is a habit. It's just like a set of rules. Procedures you're following in life to get things done. So basically, I think sometimes people really, mix discipline with motivation. Discipline is not about your feeling; it's about habits you've cultivated in yourself. So that difference must be clear. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
So, basing on what you just said,
yeah.
so is motivation enough to actually keep you consistent over a long period of time?
Yeah, motivation is in as much as you need discipline, but you should have passion for what you're doing. You should be motivated by something. You should see a reason, or you should see an exciting part about what you are doing.
No.
You don't just say, okay, I have some discipline. You just boom, you are doing something that you are not really motivated. Human beings, when you are in a safe environment, or like when you feel like what you're doing, you're actually gonna get something exciting out of it, something that is motivating you, something that is making you see the brighter future of it. It really cushions the discipline, it really gives you the passion, to really go all out and and pursue what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it means that motivation is actually something that sparks. Are you trying to say that motivation is something that sparks discipline?
Not really. Discipline is the mother set here, but you need motivation to get you on set.
Okay.
For you to be properly on set, like, and pursue what you want,
Mm.
you need a bit of motivation. Motivation, for the path you are following. You are motivated to follow that path. But discipline is the mindset. For that one, it is the it's the basic, toolkit that you need to have. You get it?
Okay.
Discipline is the basic toolkit, and then for which part you have to follow, because discipline can lead you anywhere. Like everything you want to do, discipline is just the matter, is the toolkit. But inside this toolkit, you need, also motivation out of it, depending on which part you're following. You get it, yeah. But not necessarily, the motivation that will rather what spark discipline. No, you need to be disciplined first. Then inside the toolkit of discipline, you find motivation on the parts you want to follow, and you flow.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that okay? So just before we continue, if you are watching or you've watched up to this point and
Yeah.
you've not yet subscribed, kindly hit on that subscribe button. Make sure to give us a like and tell us what you think about this topic, whether you would go in for motivation or you go in for discipline. So, uh, here's a question, right?
Yeah.
Can discipline uh, be built without motivation, or do we need motivation to build discipline?
Really, you don't need motivation to build discipline. Because if you be following what I've been saying over and over, discipline is just a core. Like that one is just the basic that you need to have before any other thing. It's inside the toolkit of discipline that you find motivation and all other stuffs. You get it. So for me, basically, I don't need for you to build discipline. I don't think you need motivation to build discipline. And here's the thing, like I would just like to throw a question to you. Like I would just like want to know something from you
Right.
as you hold podcast, on the media, right?
Yeah.
Is it discipline that keeps you going, or like are you just got up one day and be like, okay, I'm motivated. Like I've seen people doing podcasts and it interests me. Let me also
Mhm.
do it. Or like you are really committed to it. Like to you, how do you come about it?
Well, for me, I think it all started with a bit of motivation,
Okay,
but then uh, I am able to keep it going as a result of discipline.
okay.
Yeah.
I like how you kept it. I would like to know something. Has there been a day, like, has there been a day that you've gotten up that you don't feel like shooting a video, or like you don't feel like holding a postcard? Has there been a day like that?
Yes, several days
So
actually.
that's why I'll tell you. So it means at that day your motivation has ended, or like there's a decline in your motivation.
Okay.
But here are you today doing a video. Why? Because you are this. It's the discipline.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm.
you are disciplined enough to still continue on the path that you really want to go. You get it.
That's
So
clear.
that's
That's
why
clear.
at the days you were not even motivated to do. There's a why, but
You still
you are
keep
still
on
back to
going.
you see it. So discipline is yeah. So discipline is
Mm,
yeah, it's key.
yeah. I like how you kind of like flip the whole thing to ask me questions
Yeah,
and there was
exactly.
clarity.
You know,
So, my next question will be like, how do discipline and motivation work together instead of competing against each other? Because you realize that it's more like a friction between the two, right?
yeah,
So, how do you think we can embody the two of them to actually work together rather than
yeah. So
competing against each other?
yeah, basically, discipline and motivation are not supposed to be a competition. You need to have the two. The two are supposed to work together um, for you to achieve anything serious, or anything that is worth it in your life. Because the discipline, when you mix it with motivation, when you get motivated at a certain time to do something,
Mm-hmm.
realize that there's always that kind of zeal. You picture a very nice idea, or you picture a very nice future, or you picture a very nice idea about it. You're supposed to mix that kind of feeling to your energy, to your set rules. Okay, even if I persevere, with my standards I've set for myself, if I persevere, this is the bright future I'm gonna get. So actually, the motivation sets a goal for you, which explains why you should be disciplined enough, because you know that at the end of the day, that discipline is gonna pay off. So the
Mm-hmm.
two must work together. That is the motivation setting a clear, destination for you. Like it
Okay.
sets a clear light that strengthens you to be, disciplined. You knowing that your efforts, or whatever you've been committed to is gonna pay off at the end of the day. So basically, the two, should work
Should
together.
work
Yeah,
together.
the two should work together.
That's clear enough.
Yeah,
So, next thing would be that can discipline make life too rigid and boring if there's no motivation involved? Because every day you are forced to do what you are supposed to do without any motivation coming in. Do you think it can make life rigid?
it can make life very, very, very rigid. And this is, I'll chip in with an example. Like when we were in high school, you will find some people, their parents are very rich. They buy things for them.
Mm-hmm,
They
mm-hmm.
expect them, bring them to a school like Nanom Senior. Nanom Senior is a very, it's a high discipline school. one of the best schools you can find in Ghana. So if you're in Ghana, you are watching me now, you can go and search for Nanam Senior High School, the great St. Michael's Boy. I give it to them that.
We both are products of Nanam
so,
Senior High School.
So exactly,
it's evident enough, you know.
Exactly. So I think without motivation, it can kill, discipline. That's why you realize that in nanosec, at the end of the day, there are always a lot of people being sacked because they don't have, like, they've already grown up to see their parents rich. They provide for them, like, everything. So they don't see any motivation. They don't see why they should even work hard. They don't see why they should go to school.
Yeah.
That time, if you bring indiscipline into their life, it's kind of like you are frustrating them. Why should I be disciplined? I don't see what I'm working for. I don't see, because the person has just been born into, that kind of rich lifestyle. He doesn't see anything in the future education. He doesn't see any goal. He's already comfortable. His parents are rich. They are taking, so you see, at the end of the day, you see them, sucking a lot of people, which is understandable. And mostly, you can check those who are really always the disciplined students in the school. Realize that most of them are always from poor background. This is a fact, like most. And if you see the criminals, there are also those that, their parents are. So, without motivation or without, a clear picture of, you having a bright, something that is motivating you, enforcing discipline can just look like a punishment to somebody, So I think here, discipline is really needed for, a standard, discipline. If not, it will just look like punishment. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So
that.
Yeah. So how do you stay disciplined, right? I mean, that's the next one. So how do you stay disciplined, even though when life gets hard and then motivation is completely gone? How do you stay disciplined?
Well, when motivation is completely gone, that's where this being disciplined will be like it's a punishment, because when there's like you have no more future, nothing is giving you hope, nothing is giving you life. It's kind of like hard to be disciplined. What am I being disciplined about? Is it will really make life difficult. Like if you don't, without motivation, like, discipline is just it's just basically, it's a punishment. Like, it feels like a punishment. Though it's not a punishment. It feels, let me not say it's
It feels like punishment.
It feels like a punishment.
I think if it feels like punishment, then it is punishment.
Well, in the actual sense, it is not a punishment. It is a training.
Okay, that's another point.
There are values, like it gives you value, but with the absence of motivation, to be frank, it feels like a punishment, because you don't see why. If I don't see why I should wake up at 6 a.m. and study a book if I know that at the end of the day, the only reason why I'm studying that book is to get money. Then I already have money. Then why should I wake up 6 a.m. again? Though it is for your own good. But sometimes you realize that, okay, you are not just going to school just to be rich, but you are acquiring knowledge for yourself. But once you realize that getting money at the end of it, maybe your mind has been programmed, okay, let me go to school, get a well-paying job and get money. Then at the time you realize that you have money, nothing is so, there's no motivation. Like, then why should I wake up 6 o'clock, and learn? Though it will even give you what, intellect, but it feels like a punishment, for you, because it doesn't have. I don't see why I can be able to have the money, live the lifestyle, and then still wake up 6:30 a.m. to pick books and learn. So it will just feel like punishment, though it is a training.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So on all these, right?
Yeah.
How do you think someone can build a long-term discipline? So how do you think someone can build a long-term discipline of which the person can rely on rather than focusing on motivation?
Yeah, so building a long-term discipline that you can rely on is just, sticking to your values, and just always making sure that yourself tomorrow is better than you today. That is because you realize that you, at every time, or in every point of your life, you always have higher expectations. Where you are, somebody is expecting to be there. So what that can make you disciplined enough, just always have a higher picture about yourself at any. Don't be too complacent. That's the thing. Don't be complacent with Don't be too complacent with what you are now, thinking that okay, I'm at the apex. No, always think that there are more to achieve. There are higher things, ahead of you. I think by that way, you keep yourself, um, disciplined enough to be able to still, chase goals, even though maybe you've gotten somewhere, you realize that there are no more motives because this is what I was yearning for, and then I've gotten it. So no more that kind of set another one, set another, aim. Don't be complacent with where you are. So another aim that okay, tomorrow I should be better than who I was today. I think that still gives you a more reason to pursue certain tasks, and it will build
Yeah.
some discipline in you.
Actually, what you said is in line with what James Clear said
Okay.
in his book Atomic Habits.
Mm.
On him saying that we should focus on the system. We should focus on building systems rather than focusing on the goal.
Yeah,
Because you realize that
exactly.
if you're focused on a goal, right, when you attain that goal, most of the times you tend to be relaxed. However, if you are focused on a system,
Yeah.
well, that system will actually take you to get that goal.
Yeah.
However, if you are so into the system, even though you get you eventually get that goal,
Mm.
but you still continue to go in line with that,
Exactly.
in line with that system,
Exactly.
in the sense that we have footballers that, they were really good during that times, right? Like they were really fit. However, when they resign, most of them you realize that they even start to develop pot bellies and other things. They
Mm.
don't look fit and other things.
Yeah.
Why? Because they were only looking at the goal.
Exactly.
However, now that they are now on retirement, they don't have time for themselves to even train and other things. So he said that we should focus on systems, which is the discipline part of it, rather than goal.
Totally in agreement. Yeah. Totally in agreement. Right? Yeah.
So
That's very true.
there's the last question before we get off.
Okay.
So does relying on motivation make people procrastinate when they don't feel like it?
Yeah. Basically, for me, yes, you definitely procrastinate. We have the motive. See, when you rely on a motivation, at the time, just like I said, motivation is like a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
The moment that feeling goes, asa, this
Yeah.
thing,
So.
okay, maybe you just okay now I will do it another time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe another time you get motivated. Oh, I need to carry on with this. You just go in all in, cause that's how you are feeling at that moment. Something happens, that feeling is gone. So basically, I think basing too much on motivation will definitely you will
Get you.
yes it will get you procrastinating most of your activities because the moment that feeling goes, that's all. You the moment the feeling goes, no more work. You just
Well,
you get to relax. Yeah, so
yeah.
you shouldn't be so just only based on motivation. Because if you are only based on motivation, then nah, I don't think you're going anywhere.
Yeah.
Because the moment that feeling goes, yeah, you also go off. Yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
So, yeah, at this point, we are done with our discussion, and then thank you very much for your insights.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to also
Actually, learned
share
a
what
lot.
I think. We are learning.
Exactly, exactly. So,
Yeah.
thank you very much, and then once again, don't forget to hit on that subscribe button. Make sure to tell us what you think. So you can either write motivation or discipline, whatever you think, and then give us your thoughts on any
Yeah.
other question that you wish to also continue the discussion in the chat. So
Yeah.
have a good day, and we are out.